everybody, Ace Garrick here from the Second Chance Garage, and today we're working on the Camaro again. The plan was going to be to work on the floor pans, but for those of you who watched my last video, I had a problem with the floor pans. So thanks everybody for all your comments and suggestions on that video. I decided the best course of action was to order a new set of floor pans. As I said in the previous video, the back section of the pans here, where the rear seats go, I couldn't find those anywhere. The pans are correct from about here down, the ones I have. So what I did is I ordered a set of half pans that go from here all the way up, that are the right ones for this car, that fit with the catalytic converter mods and everything. And what I'm going to do is splice those two together right here, I think. And oh, by the way, Mark, thanks for sending me the link to the Classic website, Classic Industries. I did go ahead and order those pans from there. They're in California, so they're going to be here on Monday. Couldn't get them here by this weekend, unfortunately, but they'll be here. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these guys off right here, and then splice the new pans together. I mean, when they get here, I'll look at them and see, but I think that sounds like a reasonable plan. And the primary reason for that is if I cut this right here, then from here forward, I have the pan for a 70 through 74 Camaro still intact. It's not the complete pan, but they still call this a full pan when it goes from here up, even though it's not really the full pan, but that's what they call it, a full pan. So I will have a set of full pans for a 70 through 74 Camaro. And what I'm going to do with those is, if there's anybody out there in the YouTube garage that needs a set of floor pans for a 70 through 74, let me know. And what I think I will do with that is, if anybody has a use for them out there, if you want to pay the shipping for them, they're yours. So I won't charge you for them. It costs a lot of money to ship these damn things, so I'm not going to pay the shipping on it. But if one of you guys needs them, let me know. I mean, we can work something out. Hopefully you're not too far away where the shipping costs more than you just buy them new from somebody. But anywho, that's going to be the plan. I think I'll know on Monday when the pans get here if that's a good plan or not, but we'll find out. But on to what we're doing today. So this car, at some point in its previous life, had this big hole cut in the bottom of the trunk. All I can figure is that there was a gas tank back here or something, because there is no tank on the car. But what I'm going to do today, since I can't work on the floor pans, and I hate bouncing around, but one of the things they did was they cut out the fuel tank brace here. You see there's the one on the other side there, but this one's been cut out. So back when I bought the car, I found this guy on eBay. Somebody had it, interestingly enough, just the brace for the passenger side only, which is what I needed. The part was like 10 bucks or something. Of course, shipping was a heck of a lot more than that. So I think I'm going to put this guy, get this in here today. I think that's something I can do, short thing, give me a chance to practice my welding, which I've done next to zero welding in my life, so that'll be fun. So I got to cut this floor pan a bit, the trunk pan here, back a little bit to expose this stuff here, so I can get at it and clean up the welds and whatever. So I'm going to do that. And on this guy, I have to take off the remnant of the trunk pan here. I only need it from here back to here, so I don't need any of this business over here. So I got to get the spot welds out here and get this thing off and cut it and get it to fit into place. So that's going to be the plan. So I'm going to start by, let's start with the spot welds here. We'll get those out first. Alright, so I got that guy clamped in there. Trying to get an idea of where it fits. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to clamp it a little bit more to make sure it's in the right spot, and then actually I'm going to cut this down so that that thing can cinch up tighter over there, and then I'll scribe it and figure out where to make the cuts.
Alright, I got a new blade on my saw here. Try and cut as clean a line as I can. There it goes. Paint coming off the blade there. Sorry, it's flying everywhere. I'm gonna turn this off, hang on.
Alright, we got it clamped into place here. I'm gonna start tacking it in. Wish me luck. Like I said, I've almost never welded before in my life, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, here's the result so far. You can see that's a pretty ugly weld. I had a lot of trouble with the welder initially, making these little guys like this. And I think I figured out that the wire speed is too low. Not sure, but I kept dialing the amperage down because I kept blowing holes through it, but I think that was the problem, is there's actually not enough wire. And this metal here is pretty rusty, so when I try and weld on it, it's just kind of disintegrating. So I may end up having to cut that piece out right there and patch something in there because I can't get a weld to stick to it. It just blows through every time I touch it. But I'm going to grind this down first and get a look at what things look like. I'll show you from the other side. I think mostly I got pretty good penetration, not everywhere. Like down in there, I think that looks pretty good. This one's kind of 50-50 here. That's not very good right there. That's kind of iffy up there, but I'm going to grind it down and then probably have to go and hit it again. Alright, so after grinding the welds down, they're not terrible. This one up here is pretty bad. That's where I started. Stupid magnet. So there's a lot of little pinholes in there. I don't know if you can see them all. The rest of it's not too bad. I did decide to cut this piece out here because it was so screwed up. So I made a little patch here. Hopefully that'll fit in there pretty well, something like that. Didn't have all of the awesome body shop tools, so I used the corner of my rotisserie and my body hammer to bang it into place. I just put it in there and beat on it, so it seemed to work. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and weld this guy in and go through and weld up all of the pinholes and try and fill that hole in right there. So I'm hoping this is just because this metal is so crappy, but man, I had to work really hard to get those holes to fill, because every time I'd touch it with the welder, boom, it would just blow a hole. I have this thing set down pretty low. I mean, any lower than that, it wasn't penetrating at all. So I just find I had to build up this big puddle and try and move it around. If you guys know what I was doing wrong there, or if it is just shitty metal, pardon my French, let me know. I didn't seem to have any trouble, for the most part. It's just when I got up into this area here, which I know the metal was a little questionable in there, I just really didn't want to do anything. So I'm gonna grind it down and see what it looks like. Well, I have a feeling I'm just in a cycle here, but I'm going to try again. So once I grind these down, there's still holes in there. I'm going to try and do it without making such a big puddle this time. I did a patch there that seemed to have worked, so it's not all bad. I'm going to try it again, see where we end up. Lots of holes though. This one's almost good, but there's this giant hole right there that I got to patch. Give it a try. Alright, many hours later, this thing is finally done. It's still not perfect. There are a few tiny little pinholes here and there, but I did finally get it done. Welds look like hell, I know, but this metal was so bad back here. It was just a bear to get anything to work. So I ended up having to put a patch here and another patch here, because I mean, literally as soon as I pulled the trigger on the welder, boom, a hole would just pop. So I just had to keep going back and finding some better metal. And like I said, it's not perfect, but I just don't want to touch it anymore. Like I said, I have a little pinhole here and I touch it and then I'm left with a hole that big when I'm done. I have a heck of a lot more work to do, so I'm just going to leave it. The back here came out nice. That's clean. So that metal was a lot better than this metal up here. So I'm pretty happy still. Took many hours longer than it should have, but that is the rule for this car. So it seems however long I think it's going to take, quadruple it. So that's done there. I didn't grind those down perfectly because it's on the back side anyway. It's a little welding wire snakes in there. I don't care, look how nasty that is up there. Oh my gosh. This side's not so bad, but it just took forever and ever and ever to get something to seal on there. But it's in there, it's not coming out. So I'll probably leave that as is until I decide what to do with the rest of this floor pan, or trunk pan rather. I don't know how much of it I'm going to cut out to fix the hole there. I have a whole pan there. Probably don't need it. Probably maybe go back just past these things here. I don't know, I gotta dig into this rust a little bit and see what things look like. You know, I don't want to make my life any more difficult than it needs to be. Anywho, I have done some welding now. It's probably the ugliest welding anyone has ever seen on the face of the earth, but it is a weld. Sorry, I can't get the right amount of light in here. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I think the welding technique is fine. Just need good metal to weld on. If I have good metal, then I didn't really have any problem. It was just the bad metal. So hopefully when I get on to doing some other welding somewhere, it won't be quite so painful. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know if you have any suggestions there. I think I pretty much figured it out, that just the metal was crap. But if you have any other ideas. And also, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if there's anybody that has a use for a 70 through 74 set of floor pans, and the ones without the catalytic converters, the flat part here instead of the big lumpy one, if you got a use for those, let me know. See if we can work something out. I will know next weekend probably what the state of these pans is, because I'll have my new pans on Monday, and then that'll give me a chance to see how they splice and everything. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.